Hey guys, this is Cheney180, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Angela figure from the new Guardians of the Galaxy wave. I was able to pick this thing up at Walgreens. I lucked out. The manager said that they would have some, and she called me back and let me know that they had this figure. So I was able to luckily run over and pick it up. She comes with these two blades here, as you can see. They do utilize a lot of the marbled plastic, the gold marbles plastic, which is pretty nice. They fit in her hands fairly well. We got that brown paint there and the sculpted handles, as you can see. There's a lot of detail going on here with this figure. I really dig it. I've been a fan of Angela since she was in the Spawn comics, and I was really excited when she came over to Marvel. As you can see, like I said, we've got the marble plastic in gold. I'm not sure if that's marble plastic. I think that might just be painted on this. No, it's the marbled silver plastic there, and I think this is just painted here. We've got this nice soft plastic for the ribbon. It's actually sculpted fairly well. And everything up here is nice and soft. The hair is pretty soft, but it's pretty beefy back here. We've got a nice paint wash in the hair there. All in all, decent. I do have one gripe with the figure, though. The head is already starting to get pretty loose on mine. So, you know, it's just due to the fact that I'm trying to get it to do what it can. I mean, the figure can only look up that far. You do get this hinge in the neck here. Let me pull that down. You do get a hinge in the neck, which allows it to look down fairly far, but looking up is kind of an issue. But due to that hinge, you actually get like a little bit, you can kind of maneuver it. But like I said, the head is getting kind of loose on the peg, which kind of sucks. Now, I really like what they did with the shoulder pads here. It's like a soft plastic, so it doesn't inhibit the movement. Kind of like those clone troopers from the Black Series. You could only get them, you know, up about that far. So you're not going to have that issue. The only issue is you can see there that's as far as the joint will allow. But you're not going to run into too many issues. We don't get a bicep swivel. We don't get double hinge elbows. But we still get a decent amount of movement from there. We get a side hinge here for the wrist and a swivel, which is kind of inhibited by this like this hand guard, I guess. I'm not sure what that's called. I apologize. But on the other hand, we've got, you know, the upright hinge there with a swivel. And it seems like we get a little bit more motion. It seems like this peg is kind of out a little far. Seems like the sculpt on the cauldron here kind of like pulls the peg out, but it's nothing that's going to bug me too much. We do get this torso joint here, which allows a decent amount of ab crunch, and then it goes back fairly well, which isn't bad. It does pivot side to side and forward and back. And then we get this cool sculpted belt here. We actually have painted silver on the buckle, which is nice. And we have the sword sheath is attached to it with the sword inside. And here's a detail on the sword. Once again, molded in that marbled golden plastic, and I think it's painted silver, which is pretty nice. It works out. It looks nice. And then this cloth for her kind of like skirt thing here is a soft plastic, so it's not going to inhibit or get caught or anything like that. You can kind of move it however you want. The legs go up about that far. You do get a thigh cut here. You get a double hinge knee. You get an ankle pivot and a hinge. So, I mean, you can get her into some pretty decent poses, you know. You've got decent amount of accessories, and I wanted to mention that these things are adjustable, so they're not going to inhibit, you know, movement on the elbows. So that's pretty cool. So if you wanted to move them down to hide the articulation, if she's in a, you know, upright pose, you can do that and it doesn't look like the sculpt is, you know, hindered there. So that's pretty cool. I do dig that. Like I said, overall I really do like the figure. It's definitely one I've been anticipating for a long time. I know when they introduced Angela into the Marvel Universe, I was very excited. So the next question is, how does she scale next to other Marvel Legends? So here we have Star-Lord, and here, let me get her in a more upright pose so we can get the legit height on it. Okay, so there we are. She's next to Star-Lord and taller than Star-Lord. And due to hair and the, I guess the wings on her kind of helmeted thing there, she's taller than Drax as well, which is fairly accurate because Angela is supposed to be fairly large. Now the next thing that we definitely need is definitely going to be Gamora in the white spacesuit. And I'm pretty sure Rectangular can 100% agree with me on that. As you can see here, Gamora is considerably shorter, which isn't a huge problem. But she will fit in with your Guardians figures. So that is cool. And just to, you know, see how it sizes up. You can't see the top of his head because he's so tall. But, you know, you can put her with the other Guardians counterparts and she's going to fit fairly well. So, yeah, I think that about wraps it up for this review. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Weebly, Twitter, Tumblr. And don't forget to check out articulatedcomicbookart.com. Feel free to click like, leave us a comment, click subscribe, and as always, guys, thanks for watching.